Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about the three astrological Liliths. Actually, not yet the three astrological Liliths, but we are going to recover and take the myths apart that are related to the Lilith phenomenon. Let's put it this way. What is interesting about the fact that there are three astrological Liliths is that in astronomy, there's a rule that if you have named a particular celestial object, that name cannot be used for a different celestial object. And here we are with three astrological Liliths, out of which one is truly a physical object, one is a half object, and the other one is a point in space. So that's how we ended up with three Liliths. Let's take a look at the myth. For this, I need to tell you a personal story first. I must have been about 11 years old when my mother decided that I should have Bible lessons. Now, we were living in communist Hungary at that point, and the state didn't allow any type of religion. I mean, the churches were open, the monasteries got closed, and so there were no monks and nuns. They were actually tortured, and it's a terrible story. Really, you don't want to know about it. Actually, yes, you do want to know about it, because if you are idiotic enough to believe that communism is a bright idea, you should actually read a couple of books that talk about what's happening and talk to people who lived through it, and it won't be such a bright idea anymore. But anyhow, so the fact that my mother wanted me to learn about religion clearly indicates that she was very spiritual. And although we lived in Budapest, which was it's the main city, it's the capital of Hungary, the whole Budapest was quite godless, let's put it this way, while the rural areas were very much church going. And I had an aunt who was deeply religious, and she had a really true faith. You could tell her she was emanating faith, and she was the one who said to my mom that she's going to chaperone me and take me to the church, and that's how it happened. And it started out quite well. I was being taught, the genesis, the certain items, what happened every day. It's important that this type of creation that we have in the Bible, in the Old Testament, describes creation through words, logos, okay? And the very first day, light is created, which is an important thing, because light is associated with consciousness. And each day finishes with the sentence, and God saw that it's good, which is a very important thing, and something that you should remember if you watch my videos on reality, aspects of reality. This is a point, a step that you should never ever neglect. So whenever you are in the middle of creating something in your life, you are the hero of your life, which is very important, to be the hero of your own life and not the victim of your own life. It's a great idea. It's a good thing to stop from time to time and examine your results. What have you achieved? What did you want to achieve? Did you actually manage to achieve it or not? If not, why not? And to acknowledge these steps. That's what God does. That's how creation becomes perfect. And you can actually copy it if you are smart enough. So we were learning about the fifth day and the sixth day, and you may remember that on the fifth day, Yahweh creates all the animals except for the mammals. Okay, so he creates birds and fishes and whatever, and he saw it was good. And then on the sixth day, he creates all the mammals, male and female, each of a pair, and Adam. And he sees that it's good. and he goes to sleep, which is actually not sleeping. So the sixth day, he rests. And resting is really not going to sleep. It means that I am paying attention quietly to what I have created in order to summarize and to assess what I have created. So at every process of creation, every creational process, towards the end, you should have really a resting day when you can assess what you have achieved. And that's exactly what God does. These are very deep stories, by the way, very, very deeply philosophical points. And you should really ponder on them, because you can learn a lot from these stories. But here comes the interesting thing. On the sixth day, so Adam is created without a feminine counterpart. And when we got to this point at the Bible lessons, as I said, I must have been 11-ish, not older. I remember that all of a sudden I had this huge rage building in me, this enormous rage. I was so mad, so I started to scream with this poor priest, like, this is so stupid, and how could God be that stupid? How come he didn't realize that Adam needs a woman? I don't believe this. So, of course, I was immediately thrown out of the Bible lessons. You might ask how I felt. Terrible. I felt ashamed, deeply ashamed. I was raging. I wanted revenge. This dark thing was brewing in me, all kinds of negative energies, very, very poisonous and very brutal. And then I let it sink into my subconscious. I haven't dealt with it for quite a while. And then during my university studies, it resurfaced somehow. And one of my favorite teachers told me that, oh, by the way, you were right. This is not the true proof. Okay, this is not the original story. The original story was Adam and Lilith's story. Just check it out. So I did. This is still communist Hungary, so it was quite hard to check it out. But I managed to realize that there are apocryphal books of the Bible, and there in some libraries there were some materials on it. So I found them, and I did uncover Adam and Lilith's story. And this is what the story has. God created Adam and Lilith, and breathed the spirit into them, and so they were created equal. Okay, and on the very first day they started to have a big row, because Lilith said to Adam, "I don't want to be below you." Yes, you can understand this in a sexual way, of course. Why not? But this is not the case. At least it's only part of the case, because what really is important here is that creation, by definition, is feminine. Sorry, guys, you will never be able to deliver a child. Okay, there might have been some Frankenstein operations, and you might be given a womb and whatever. You're still masculine, and by definition, you can't deliver a child. Okay, we women can deliver children. So creation, by definition, the physical manifestation of creation is always feminine. So actually there is the creator goddess, and there are era gods and goddesses who created certain eras. And of course, Yahweh is this era's, our present era's creator god. And when Lilith realizes that she was created by a masculine deity, she immediately acknowledges this fact and she says, okay, no problem, I understand, but I don't want to be below. In this, to put this into perspective, you need to understand that the manifested physical dimension has two basic rules by which everything can be placed. One is the rule of hierarchy, and the other one is the rule of polarity. Hierarchy simply means that no, not all things are equal. Okay, there are four portions of the manifested reality: minerals, plants, animals, and humans. Okay, those are four levels. And no, they are not equal. Okay, my dear vegan friends, do you think that cabbages and lettuces don't feel pain? Well, think again, they do. Of course, not like when you are being killed by a knife or something, but yes, their end of life is bad for them as well. You have to face it, okay? When you want to live, it can only be at the you can only live by killing something else or someone else. So it's like always like this in every channel of creation. That's what's happening on the manifested world. If you want to live, you need to eat. If you eat something, you kill it. That's what's happening, okay? And I understand that little animals are much nicer than little cabbages, but you still kill, okay? Let's face it, and stop bothering us who are eating meat, because it's just a form of digestion. This is what I can't be a vegan, because when a couple of years ago I tried. Okay, after 2-3 days, I got so sick, you don't want to know. Okay, so everyone should eat whatever they want and eat sparingly, eat what you need. Okay, don't overeat, and then you don't destroy creation. You actually are creating something. So let's get back to the two main roots. So yes, there is hierarchy, but within those hierarchical structures, if you have a manifestation of feminine and masculine of the same species, they are equal, and so there's polarity. One is only existing in the light of the other, in the reflection of the other. And this is exactly what Lilith says. She understands that now, in this era, we have a strange creation, because it's a masculine manifestation. Okay, I understand that, she says, but I still want to be equal. And of course, Adam can't understand this, and they go back to Yahweh, and Yahweh says the same, that you can't be equal because I breathe the spirit into Adam first, so he's going to be above you. And Lilith won't put up with this. She utters Yahweh's unutterable name, by which she manifests that she knows something. She has knowledge. Knowing the true name of something means that you have power over it. So she actually has power over Yahweh, which is an interesting thought. And then she leaves paradise. She just simply leaves the Garden of Eden. And of course, Yahweh is not very happy about this, obviously. And he sends 2 or 3 of his angels after Lilith, saying that, okay, fine, stop behaving like this, come back. Now you can still come back, but you need to obey. You need to accept our rules. Otherwise, you will be cursed. You should be the demon of the Crossroads. Everyone should hate you. You should not be able to deliver any children. You will deliver only demons instead of children. All sorts of really ugly, bad things. So she practically curses Lilith. And Lilith doesn't go back. She accepts the curse. I was really bothered for a while about the original sin, the idea of the original sin, that everyone is sinful, even little children, even babies are sin. We are born as sinners into this life. I could never accept this notion until I got acquainted with the story of Lilith, because when I realized that there is a sin, but it's not us human beings who are simple. It is actually Yahweh who is so helpless and so mad at Lilith's revolt that he actually curses her, which means that he curses his own creation, the feminine portion of his own creation. Think about that. That's what's happening. That's what happened in Genesis, in the original story of Genesis. And Lilith doesn't go back. She accepts the curse. She takes it upon herself and waits. And then she gets wind of the fact that Eve is created. Actually, she's not created, she's manufactured. That's the big difference. Because what happens is that we learn that Adam is very sad and very lonely in paradise. And Yahweh offers to manufacture another feminine for him. So he takes his rib, one of his ribs, and manufactures Eve. What does she not have? She doesn't have a soul. The fact that she doesn't have a soul is very well versed in Christian literature. Many theses have been written on the fact, and that is why for 1500 years the feminine was subjugated to a lower level, and that is why they kept saying that, you know, to kill a woman is okay because this is a soulless creature and things like that. But in fact, she does have a soul. She did get a soul, because that's the purpose of Lilith's going back into the Garden of Eden. She takes the form of a serpent and goes back and gives her an apple. Now, it's important, this is again something you won't understand unless you know Latin, and unless you know that alma in Latin means apple in Hungarian. So there again, you see that Hungarian is a very ancient language, and it holds many secrets if you speak it. So we have to ask some questions here. Number one is, how did Lilith know that Eve was manufactured? She must have had clairvoyance or clairaudience or distant seeing or something. Okay, so distant sight, something, some kind of esoteric knowledge by which she realized what was happening. She also needed courage, stamina, endurance, the willingness to do something, to rectify a bad deed, to rectify a bad situation. Okay, she has all those. So the black moon Lilith, which is going to, so the third turning point of the myths, is going to be symbolized by the black moon Lilith. That's exactly what it will mean. That's how you will have to delineate. And the story doesn't really end here, because then, of course, she's being cursed again by Yahweh. And actually, as a result, Adam and Eve are thrown out of the Garden of Eden. So it's an interesting story. It has many connotations. It has many layers. And next time we are going to look at the 3 astrological Liliths in detail, how they manifest in a chart, what they mean, what actually consists of, how it is built up. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.